Hey guys, welcome to my very second video. Today I'm going to be teaching you a very easy, simple way to find the circumcenter of any triangle. So, we're going to start with this triangle. I'm only using two examples, and I'm going to do this one for you guys, and you guys are going to try to do this one on your own.
So basically, the main two steps for finding a circumcenter of a triangle is finding the midpoint of two lines and then finding the opposite slope of those lines. So I'm going to be using this bottom line down here, and I just have to find the midpoint of this line. So this line is 6 points long, so you just do 3. So you go 3 across, and that is the midpoint of that line. Then the second step is to find the opposite slope. And to find the opposite slope is basically you just do the opposite reciprocal. So the slope of this line is 0 because it's horizontal. So since it's horizontal, that means the opposite slope will just be vertical. But if it's not horizontal or vertical, you're actually going to have to do the formula. So that's the first line we have. Now you find another line. I'm going to be using this line right here. And the first step again is midpoint. So since this line is not vertical or horizontal, you have to use the midpoint formula. The midpoint formula basically is x2 plus x1 divided by 2, and then y2 plus y1 divided by 2. So we're going to get the two x's. So 1 plus negative 2 over 2, and then the two y's. 4 plus 0 over 2. So that's negative 1 over 2, and then 4 divided by 2 is just 2. So now this is our new point. So we're going to go graph out this point. So we go back negative 1/2, and then up 2. 1, 2. So that is the midpoint of this line. Then the second step is to find the opposite slope. So basically, the first thing you have to do is find the slope of this line right here. So you go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 1, 2, 3. So the slope of this is 4 over 3. And then to find the opposite slope, you basically flip this. So you get 3 over 4 and then make it negative. So now this is your new slope. And you go to the point you just made and then literally write out the line. So you go 1, 2, 3, down 3, and then over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you have these two points, just draw a line that goes through both of them. And where these two lines cross, right here, this is your circumcenter. And just to check, to just make sure, whatever, you can draw a circle that goes through all 3 points of this triangle. Hold on. This is going to be a very bad circle because I'm not that good at this. And the circumcenter is going to be in the very center of your circle. That's basically it for finding a circumcenter. So the main two steps I want you to remember is midpoint, slope, and then on the second line, midpoint, slope. Where they cross, that's your circumcenter. It's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is remember midpoint formula. So now you guys can pause the video here and try to do this one on your own. And then in 15 seconds or so, I'm going to teach you how to do this one. Okay, I'm going to start. So since this is a right triangle, because we have a right angle right here, I feel like this one's going to be easier because you have horizontal and vertical lines. So you don't have to do the midpoint formula. You could just count. So I'm going to use this line and this line because they're the easiest since they're horizontal and vertical. So the first step, find the midpoint. Since this is only two blocks, the midpoint is right here. Next, find the slopes. So you're going to draw, so since this line is horizontal, that means the opposite slope is going to be vertical. Okay, now that we have this first line, this first pink line, now we have to do the same thing for the other. So find the midpoint, 1, 2, 3, 4. I messed it up the first time. For some reason I counted 5, but it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you just find half of that. So you go up 2 on this line. And then just draw a horizontal line through that. And where these two lines meet, that is the circumcenter. So right here, this is a circumcenter, and just for the fun of it, we're just going to draw the circle around it just to check. And I have a few more tricks that I'm going to mention in this video to check if you like properly found it. This is kind of tricky. Okay, that's the closest I'll get, but this is basically the center of the circle. So that's called circumscribing it. So if you got that right, you're all set. That's how you do it for every single triangle. Just remember the midpoint formula. And some tricks to know is that, here, let me draw a triangle here. If you have a triangle like this, the circumcenter is always going to be somewhere in the inside of the triangle. But if you have a triangle that is a right triangle, so that means it has a 90-degree angle on it. Okay, this is not working. Okay, so if you have a right triangle, that means the circumcenter is always going to be on this hypotenuse line. It's going to be anywhere on that line. And finally, if you have an obtuse triangle, that means the circumcenter is always going to be outside. Oops. The circumcenter is always going to be on the outside of the triangle. Even if it doesn't look right, that's where it goes. So that's basically it for this lesson. If you want to use another sample triangle, you could just pause it here and try this one out too. That's it.